Let's see what happens here. Doing the StreamYard thingy thing again. All right. So it looks like we are live. And for those of you who are going to be joining us, and for those of you who are not, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not really concerned about anybody joining. I'm just doing an impromptu Sunday night chat for the simple fact that obviously we've had a lot of things going on lately. I know it seems so surprising to many, but we've had quite the events this week have occurred, and I don't think that's a surprise to really anybody at this point. Um, so we'll see if anybody joins us. Oh, Captain Shark. Hello, sir. I gotta fix my screen here. It's all messed up. Hold on. There we go. That's better. So let's see. I've got Captain Shark, Lord Commander Manny, Chickawise and Ferrets with Guns. Daniel God is my judge. Floridian and Ty J. Nick, the Gun Snob. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me on this super impromptu Sunday night chat. This is going to be actually a short one. I'm only planning on maybe sticking around for 30 minutes because it is a Sunday, and I know many of us have to get up and go to work. Hi, Fresh Fowler. How are you, sir? So this is impromptu as always. I don't really have an agenda, so to speak. We can talk about any topics that you would like to talk about, and we'll go from there. So I'm kind of, like I said, I've been playing around with the lighting in this room a little bit. I looked on my computer screen and the image looks like trash. So I think it's my, I don't even think it's my camera. I think it's just, I don't know. I think my Wi-Fi sucks, which is probably more or less likely the issue. So I moved the background. I did take the flag down. I repainted everything. So I'm kind of going through a transition here with the shoe closet that I call it, because that's what it is. And I want to do something different, something that wasn't so busy. I don't know, I'll maybe put something back there at some point, but you can see some of my soundproof in there and stuff. And if you hear that, it's my dog barking in the background, one of my dogs. So let's see. Hello, Paul H. How are you, sir? Fresh is saying he's kind of worried what Trump is going to say tomorrow. I think it's going to be an interesting thing. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. I have a lot of different thoughts about this whole thing. Let's see. Captain Shark image looks sharp on the side. Add the studio looks clean. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Chickawise is saying, what's your thoughts on the obvious unfortunate situations and shootings? Well, I mean, the one that happened in Ohio, obviously, I think is not necessarily the same reasons why the one that happened in Texas occurred. Apparently the dude shot his sister and her boyfriend, and there's speculation that because the boyfriend was black is why he actually went crazy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly if that's going to be correct or not. But that, again, that is what they are speculating on. Who knows what the actual truth will be. The one with Texas is a little bit different, obviously. They have, supposedly evidence of a manifesto that came out where he was talking about, wanting to get rid of certain individuals out of this country. I don't know, man. I'm mad in a way, I guess. I'm not going to sit here and point fingers at any particular group of anybody's. However, I am going to pick on all of them and say basically they're all at fault. Everybody's at fault. Congress, the president, the media, they're all at fault. And it's not even just this current president; it's the last president as well that's at fault. They've really just divided the nation into a point of no return, and this is what we get. And when we have a dysfunctional government, an inadequate source of representation of our needs and our wants, and we can go into the marginalization of people and how the current atmosphere is marginalizing everybody. It's pathetic. We have sunk to an all-time low, in my opinion. Let's see. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they try to do an assault weapons ban. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Let's see. Big Daddy G. He's hoping I had a great vacation. I'm 9 away from 10,000. Well done, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm going to put that up because that's a big deal for me. My vacation was great. I had a wonderful time. I really just Spent a lot of time with my family and friends, and it was just a lot of fun, man. I can't complain. And I am close to 10,000 finally. My gosh, it feels like it's been forever. But those are 10,000 subs well earned by me, and I appreciate the support. Let's see. Big Al saying media more than anyone. Yeah, I mean, I think the media plays off what politicians have done. I'll give you a great example. Buttigieg, whatever his name is, he came out today saying that, and here's what I can't get past. There's two sides to this. So like for me, my concern is, as a Hispanic, that Hispanics are being targeted by certain individuals. At the same time, you have politicians on both sides of the spectrum who are making this, making race the major issue. And it's not. It's not about that. And I think the narrative has to change, not only for the Democrats, big time, but also for Trump. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it can't be about, an invasion of people. It has to be the idea that Americans are going to be replaced. And what has the Democratic Party done for the American citizen? And I think that's been lost in the conversation. And it's unfortunate. It's a sad day. I mean, it's angering. It's sad. In my opinion, there's no faith in our government and in the politicians that we have in office. I think they're nothing more than a waste of space. Let's see. Let me go. Nick Rodriguez. New York have a gun roster. Just found out I might have to wait an extra 5 months to see a 92X in Maryland. No, there is no roster in New York State. Thank God. But I wouldn't put it past Cuomo, although Cuomo is very happy that we are one of the safest states in the nation. Let's see. What does this say? Trump calling Latino are a-hole countries. 3 mass killings in a week. Trump calling Latino are a-hole countries. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Did have a great vacation, Dave. Thank you very much. You're correct. Statistics show that gun ban did not work. And again, if we're going to have an honest discussion, I mean, let's go back to see what is the chain of events that led to the mass shooting. And I'm talking more about Texas than I am of Ohio, because it's still speculation of what caused the shooting in Ohio. In Texas, I think it's completely obvious what was, the motivation behind it. So the question would be then, instead of blaming the gun, instead of doing an assault weapons ban, let's trace back steps to where this individual went wrong. What happened to him? Where was he, neglected at some point? They were interviewing some of his classmates saying that he was a weird kid to begin with. So for this to just happen, I find it very hard to believe. Obviously, there were probably warning signs somewhere in his life that either people didn't look at, didn't pay attention to, or disregarded. And again, that has to be the discussion. Buttigieg was talking about how there is domestic terrorism now by white males. And I take exception to that as well. I'm not exactly necessarily a white male, but at the same time, I have plenty of white friends, and none of my white friends have ever, threatened to kill me or anybody else. And so, obviously we can say that statistically, white males are usually the perpetrators of these mass shootings, and that would be accurate. But let's talk about what's going on to create such a story for this. When people feel like they're being marginalized or attacked, there's always going to be a repercussion to that. And there has been such a movement in the nation to demonize white people. And look, I'm not going to sit here and speak for everybody, and I don't want to, all right? I can only speak for myself. But my whole thing is that if we're going to go past this idea of race and past this idea of letting bygones be bygones, so to speak, we have to get past this idea of always making it about race. One of the things that and the reason why I say that is two-sided, because on the one side, you have the people who are always going to race bait and always say that it's got to be about race, that this is the reason why it's happening. And then on the other side, you have the people who use that to really fire up their own agendas, which is going to be anti-immigrant, anti-minority. And it's just, it just feeds itself. And that's the problem here. Move past this idea of race. I don't care what color you are. My whole thing is, are you a good person? Do you work hard? Do you want to be a part of something better than where you're at? And in doing so, maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to move up. But I mean, this is what's happened with the media. The media has taken control of this, and unfortunately, we've got politicians in the country who are not necessarily doing what's in the best interest of us, and that's a problem. That's a real problem. If we were to take a poll of what really concerns Americans, let's face it, guys. I don't think anybody's going to sit there saying, "Oh, the thing that mostly concerns me is getting shot at a movie theater." That doesn't concern me. What concerns me is, how are my children going to have an opportunity in this nation? That's number one for me. And the reason why I say that is because I already have what I have. I'm not going to do any more. Let's put it that way. Like, I've gotten to the point of where I feel okay. But my question is, what's going to be for my children? And I think that would be the number one concern of most Americans. Probably the second would be, how am I going to maintain a relatively satisfying way of living? Can I get a good job? Am I going to make enough money? Am I going to have decent medical benefits or retirement? I mean, all these things are probably the primary importance of every American in this country. And no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to focus in on that. Everything has to be about race. So let me go through this. Let's see. Lord Commander Money, he's saying, I must agree because Trump defended Charlottesville. Again, I don't know. I can't specifically talk to that because I don't have his words in front of me. I think in regards to Charlottesville, there were people there trying to antagonize a dangerous situation on both sides, and both parties were responsible for what occurred there. And I think the more we start instead of blaming one party and start taking a look at everybody across the board and seeing what role they had and what occurred, that's when we're going to actually start having a real conversation. And we're not there yet. We're not there because we have people who won't let us get there. When you have a conversation with someone, the whole point is to hear their point of view, you say your point of view, and then go from there. But at the same time, that's where we're at. So what more red flag laws? We already have red flag laws in New York State. I mean, that's just, that's what it is right now. I know that's what they're calling for. I don't know how that's going to prevent anything. Or postpone anything. If you're not demonstrating any psychological problems, if you're not one of those types of people who are outwardly saying, I want to blow things up, then how does that red flag law work? It's not going to work until after the fact. I carry all weekend long. Let me see what Johnny's Domain is saying this. Makes me nervous because I go to some rough areas. The mass shootings happening makes it worse. Curious what you do for work. Can you carry? So I don't tell anybody what I do for a living. I always tell people what I used to do, which was involved in the fire service for a long time. And I don't tell anybody now what I do. And that's just, that's a personal thing. I do not carry where I work. We are not allowed to, by law, actually. And it's kind of stupid and ridiculous. And am I nervous? Yes, I am. But I'm also going to say that you can't walk through life always being afraid. And the reason why I say that is because that's the whole point of terrorism. I mean, terrorism makes you terrified. And I don't walk through life that way. I mean, I'll do my best to protect myself when I can and my family. And when I'm unable to carry a firearm to protect myself, I'll do the best that I can do. And, whatever that means, I don't know, but that's what I feel about it. So let's see. I am the Rock stunt double. Yeah, I would probably have to put on at least another 100 pounds and, well, maybe not. I mean, I'm pretty muscular. Rock is a little bit smaller than me. But I always said, if The Rock wants to do a movie and he needs a little brother, I'll totally be his little brother in that movie. No problem. No problem with that. Rabbi Jesus saying red flag laws are an obvious first step towards having to get a government approved license to own firearms. You're sort of right. But in a lot of states, we already have to do that. New York State, you have to have a government approved license to carry your firearm. I have a carry permit. And I had to do all of the stupid things, getting my background checked, all this other stuff in order for that to happen. So that's already in place. Now, is it a federal level? No. But at the same time, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because honestly, I mean, if you're going to give me a federal firearms license, then that should be like a driver's license, which means I can go through every state. But we'll see how that goes. Deanne Steyer, hello, sir. It says it's a lack of home life and dad's ass whipping when necessary and too much babying of people. I think that has a lot to do with it. I kind of sat in with, Rich and Pop's Quest and oh my God, I'm totally losing it. Who the hell else was on there last night? Pop's Quest. Oh, and TR Prepper. That's who it was. Jeez, how did I forget that? But we were kind of talking about that too. And yeah, I think a lot of times, people have gone very soft. And again, I mean, it's a different time period. We're dealing with individuals who are missing something. I don't know what it is. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know what it is. I wish I could figure it out. But at the same time, there is not a lot of answers to this because who wakes up in the morning thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to take an AK-47 to Walmart and shoot people. Obviously, these individuals are very troubled, but the question is, and I think the deeper question has to be, what is causing this? What is actually the causation? You can't tell me it's a gun. I mean, there's plenty of guns out there with law-abiding citizens who have never committed any crime. So then what is the underlying factor? If you stack up each mass shooter next to each other, one after the other, what is the common denominator amongst all of them? And then once you identify that, then you need to start breaking down, does their story for all of them have very similar circumstances and very similar, I guess you could say, information. And then once you identify it, now maybe you can combat it. But nobody wants to talk about that. Instead, they want to say, oh, we've got to stop gun violence by getting rid of guns. But you're not stopping any violence. You're not stopping anything because the problem is still going to be there. Yes, you may not have the tools to operate the way you want to, but it's still there. And honestly, I don't understand why we can't have this discussion. And there's a part of me that says the reason why is because there's billions of dollars in big pharma. And a lot of these medications that are medicating and helping people, I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not doing what its intended purpose is there for. And that's a huge question mark for me. Logan White, how are you, sir? Southpaw RX. Since you can't carry at work, I'm sure your situational awareness is off the charts. Absolutely. People think I'm crazy. let's put let's put it that way. And I'm not crazy. I just, it's like anything else. When you go out, I never sit with my back to the door when I go out with my family. I always have to see who comes in and goes out. That's part of it. Movie theaters, same thing. Always identifying the means of egress to get out of there in case there's a situation. But I do that normally with everything. Let's see. So Nick says here, it's ignoring your children's problems and not getting them help. I think the problem is not necessarily that a lot of kids have the problem. I think it's the parents who have the problems. I'll give you a great example. When I was on my vacation, I was in the lobby of the hotel we were staying. And there was this woman with this, I mean, probably, I don't know, 10-month-old, maybe a little bit older, maybe like a 1-year-old, probably 1-year-old, 2-year-old maybe. And the kid was in the carriage and the mom was on this couch and she was too busy on her cell phone texting and doing God knows what. And the kid basically is crying, yelling, mommy, 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 wanting the attention from the mother. But the mother was too preoccupied with this. And I wonder if that has something to do with it. Even with what we do here on YouTube, I mean, obviously I don't have the biggest channel, so I don't have the greatest of demand to make videos. I just don't. And honestly, I make videos when I want to, not that it has to be scheduled or every this or that, because I have a life. I have things I want to do. But at the same time, have we gotten to the point in society where we've made this kind of crap more important than a real dialogue? Honestly, I use this with a live chat. I can get in touch with many people that way, as opposed to talking to one individual or two individuals. But at the same time, I mean, maybe we've lost that connection of being with somebody, and having that real identifiable purpose for each other. I don't know. I don't know if that has something to do with it or not. I would assume it does. Let's see. A lot of people saying they live in free states. Good for you. God bless. Daniel, God is my judge. Welcome to the Ritalin world where the parents and doctors are answers to all childhood problems is drugs. And I wonder if there's a lick of truth in that. I'll be honest with you. Again, there are some people who legitimately need some chemical alteration. Their brains were rewired. Maybe there's a missing component or whatever it might be. But I think honestly, something's going on in society when we have so many people who are not able to cope with their emotions, who are then medicated to be kept here, but then ultimately they outgrow the medication and now they're here, and then slowly they edge up and edge up and edge up until they can't control anything, and then they have an outburst, and whatever that outburst might be and what it might lead to, I'm not sure. It's Harry saying it's lack of purpose and people being told that all you need is money to make you happy. Get your government check and you'll be good. When in reality, it'll just make you depressed. And I think that has a lot to do with it. I think there's a mentality in this country right now for some people to be okay with never having to do more. I don't know what it's like not to work. I don't know what it's like not to desire the will to accomplish something. Like, I don't know what that's like. Am I like a super famous rich guy? No, I'm not. But at the same time, I'm fairly successful at what I do. And I've tried to be successful, not through, kissing butt and dropping names. I've actually tried to get successful in life by working very hard and having my work prove my worth, so to speak. And sometimes that doesn't work, and if you don't have that, if you don't have that purpose, that drive, that ambition to be something, to be more, maybe you're just getting lost in the shuffle, man. I don't know. Boy, there's a lot of good comments here, guys. I can't keep up. I'm sorry. Johnny's mass shootings are becoming a trend. They see it happening and they think they can do it too. I don't know if it's a trend. I would not say it's a trend. A trend would be like, everybody wearing bell-bottom jeans. I mean, that's a trend. I don't know if mass shootings are a trend. I think what's happening, though, is that what's really becoming the trend is the political climate in the country right now is becoming a trend of division. And that's a problem. It's one thing to have your own political beliefs versus somebody else's political beliefs, but it's entirely another where you blame everybody and everything who's in that other political belief for all the wrongs of society. And you just can't do that because it's everybody's fault. It isn't just Trump. It's not just the Democrats. It's not just Trump. It's not just the media. It's all of them. They're all at fault for this. They should all take responsibility for all of this because they have perpetuated this idea that we are so divided and so rigid in our beliefs. And that's just not true. That's not true. And you know what? It's a shame when you have that feeling to say these things, you automatically get classified as a racist. For what? Because you have a difference of opinion? I mean, it just makes no sense. All right, let's see. And I apologize, I'm not getting everybody's here. There's a lot of comments here, a lot of good stuff. I'm doing my best, guys. Let's see. Will I see you on the 16th? Probably not. Probably not. No, probably not. Let's see. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't know. Let's see, Rabbi Jesus, and anybody who calls for unification is belittled. Yeah, you're right, man. You're absolutely right. I mean, there's no, like, whatever happened to this idea of working for the common good? Maybe I'm naive that way, but I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I mean, what's wrong with that idea or that notion? Peter's saying 85% of the shooters are under the age of 25. So again, that's a common denominator. So they're all under the age of 25. So that means we have a demographic of age. So now let's look at their social structure. Let's look at their family. Are they loners? Which most of them are. Okay. Is there a history of mental health problems? Is there a broken family? Is there abuse in the household? Like, what are all of these things combined are going to turn people. And then when you take the political climate that we're in right now, plus the media feeding it to people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you have a catastrophe waiting to happen. See, Anthony Lamastro is saying you got a Glock 19. This is a gun question. Got a Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS and a Holosun 507 CGR. Shot 30 rounds and it came loose. Tighten and strip the screw. Ooh, that's bad. Do I have any advice? Stripping the screw, I would assume that maybe you just weren't using the correct Allen wrench if it's coming off. Also, you got to loctate those suckers, man. You got to use Loctite. I'm not a big red dot fan though, and you're just kind of describing why. But I'm not a big red dot guy. Although that Masada has me kind of salivating slightly. Here we go. This is Dan O'Neill. Yes, that is the universal answer, sir. Always did me well. Let's see. TN Star saying it is a disconnect from reality. Nobody understands the concept once because I haven't had any life and experience of what experience used to be their husbands taken away. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what the frick that means, man. Ooh, it must be way deep because I don't know what that means. Let's see. Ninja Scout saying the media showed too much from making bombs to drugs I've never heard of till they show it. They need to cut back on the facts and ingredients all started when OK bombing happened. Oklahoma City probably he's talking about. Yeah, I mean, I just think right now what we're looking at is we're looking at a supercharged, like I think of it almost as like a flashover. You have a supercharged room of heat and gas, and then all of a sudden you introduce just a little bit of oxygen to it, and poof, boom, explosion. And that's what we're at. And people can blame Trump. They've already done it. And, people can blame the Democrats, and they've done that as well. But now that the blaming game has to end, what are they willing to do? How are they willing to work together to actually solve this problem? I don't want to hear about we need to remove guns. Guns are not the problem, guys. It's not the problem. And I'm talking to the choir right now, or preaching to the choir, but that's really not it. It's not it. Next gun purchase. I don't really have anything. I have no money. That's why. so, so I think I'm done for the summer, guys. I have a couple of outstanding guns. I still have to finish paying off my PC carbine, which God knows when that's going to happen. I also have the Beretta 90-2 that I'm waiting for, still from the county, and also the Caracol. The enhanced G or whatever the hell they call it, enhanced F. So I got that one, still waiting to get that from the county as well. And so, I got a couple of things to do. I still haven't even shot the P225A1. Like I said, I was on vacation, so I didn't have a chance to do that. But, if there was one gun right now that I'm very intrigued about, it's the IWI Masada. I really like the looks of that gun. I like the fact that it's, optic ready, and you don't have to buy any of the plates like CZ. So I'm rooting for that gun, man. I hope it does well. Let's see. Let's see. Ninja Scout saying the Masada looks sweet. Yeah, it would be nice. I wish they would send me one. If I had one wish, as soon as I hit 10,000, send me one. So if any of you know anybody from Masada, I think they're right in Pennsylvania. It's just one state or two states away. Come on, man. Hook a brother up. Let's see. Ty J is saying that his X5 Legion is the last one I'm buying this year. Have two more always payments, then it's coming home. That's cool. That gun to me is just, it doesn't fit my criteria of why I need a gun. So, and plus it's ridiculously expensive. So I hope it works out. I was actually looking at P226 the other day, but it was in 40 Smith & Wesson. It was in really nice shape. It was a hybrid SIG, so it was a German frame with an American slide. I don't know, man. What do you guys think about that? Should I have bought that? And they want 475 for it, and it was in really good shape. But it didn't have night sights, didn't have an SRT trigger in it. It was just kind of a plain Jane 226. Let's see. So Johnny, you live in what county do you live in? Is that up in? It's probably like up in the Buffalo or Rochester area, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's crazy that you guys have that freedom to do that. I wish I could do that. Taji's saying his Shadow is 2 is more expensive. Oh, we have a little snobbery, a little bougie gun owner. Just kidding. Just kidding. Dan O'Neill saying I'm 10 subs away. 10 sub. Wait a second. I was 9 subs before. What the hell? Let me see what's going on. I'm gonna look right now. Yeah, I'm 10 subs away. I was 9 before. That means somebody totally unsubbed me. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the support. No, P226 is not 9 millimeter only. It comes in 40, 357 SIG, and 9. So, sorry. But I guess he's telling me don't buy it. But I figured, Rabbi, that I could always get a 9 millimeter barrel and convert it to a 9. Orleans County. Yep, east of Rochester. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Pistol Pete, you unsub me? Damn you. Not impressed with it. Yeah, it was nice, but it just didn't do it. It wasn't like the 225. The one I got it's just like awesome. The one thumbs down guy. Yeah, I have my suspicions who the one thumbs down guy is. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I think I know who it is. And I don't give a shit. The TSO, no, I don't buy expensive guns, man. You guys are mistaking me for all the other bigger guys. I don't buy expensive stuff. I don't. If I can help it, I would. If I could help and find really good guns on the cheap, that's what I do. I don't care. All right, let's see. I was thinking about getting a 357 Sig barrel for it too, Rabbi. Just so you know. And I don't know if it can. See, I've been reading that you can drop a 9 millimeter barrel in it. I watched a video on it. Let's see. Ripcord Jr. Is your bread a 9 millimeter Centurion your full-time carry, or do you swap out other 9 millimeters for your carry option? I usually swap. I rotate. So this week, what have I been carrying this week? My God. I've been carrying my Shield a lot, the Shield 2.0. Probably way too much, actually. Pretty soon I'll probably start carrying one of my CZs, either the PO, well, probably the PO1 Omega, um, but we'll see. Anthony is saying they got a new P225 two-tone. I'd get it. I love the 225. It's a nice gun. I like it. Triple seven howitzer. Yeah, I'll definitely jump on that. What do I consider expensive? That's a good question. I don't really know. I'll give you the highest price point I've paid on a handgun was $900, and that was my M9A3. But I just thought it was really cool, and I really wanted one, and I've been very happy with it. But I would say that's like at the top of my comfortable level. So I'm cheap, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think like if I can find a good gun for 350 to 550, that's where I'm at. See you, Harry. Thanks for joining me, buddy. Appreciate it. Carry my revolver. No, I've never owned a revolver, and I wouldn't say that I have zero interest, but I have like maybe a 2% interest in it. I've looked at a couple, but then I look at the price and I say, man, there's so many good options out there. Why would I drop it on, a revolver? But that's just me. Rabbi's saying anything over 2,000, he starts to back off. 938. That's a nice little gun. Nice little gun. And then Ty J's saying he liked to hover around the 550 range. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't really think you have to go much higher, unless you're looking for that specialty gun. And when I say specialty gun, what I'm talking about is more like a Shadow 2, TSO, maybe the new Beretta, whatever, the 92X. Those to me are specialty guns. So for me, I don't really fall into that line of thinking. I don't need to try every single gun out there. All the guns that I own, I carry. So for me, It's about the idea, can I carry it? Is it usable? And is it also, wallet friendly? And I think that's an important concept. Let's see. Am I a bad person if I took advantage of the back to school tax free weekend by hitting PSA and loading up on parts for a new lower? No, absolutely not. It's funny. Yeah, like right now, I think the reason why I want to get a Masada is because I really like the price. And I think also not only is the price really good, I mean, we're talking four and change, and then I've seen them on Gunbroker going for like 420. Some people are saying you can find them for 380. I have not found any below 400 at this point. But I like the fact that again, it's got the optic ready slide. You've got co-witnessing, which is really nice, and it looks like it was built very well. Plus the idea that you're hopefully going to be able to remove the trigger and then also put the trigger in a new frame, whether it's color or size, which would be pretty sweet. Why, hello there, Channel Cat Chaser. See you, Tien. Brian Rhodes saying, I wish New York was not such a pain to get a pistol permit. Yeah, I agree. Did I see any open carry in Puerto Rico? No, I didn't actually. I did not see it. I don't even know if it's allowed there. I don't think it's allowed there. You have to have a license to carry there. It's not very hard to get. You just got to have $100 and fill out an application, do fingerprinting, and get background checks. So it's not hard at all. The indestructible saying, pistols for me, I don't spend much on. However, rifles and accessories where I spend. Yeah, and that's the way I've always justified it. Like if I'm going to spend a ton of cash, it's probably going to be on a quality rifle as opposed to a handgun. I can't see spending $1,200 on a handgun when you can get a really badass rifle for that price. Channel Cat saying the trip looked awesome. It was a great time, man. I do want to say a couple of things about that trip. First off, to be able to spend the quality time that I did with my family it meant more to me than anything else. I don't have a lot of opportunities to take trips like that. We do a lot together as a group and a core. But that was an expensive trip, guys. It was really expensive, but it was worth every bit of money that we paid for it. And more importantly, the cultural aspect of it, which, I don't really talk a lot about it because I really don't ever think about it from that perspective, but just the cultural impact that it had on my kids was important, because, they have a Irish mom and a Puerto Rican dad, and to have that exposure, man, was good for so many different levels. Yes, it's beautiful. The beaches are great. The restaurants were nice. The hotel was fantastic. But then we took a trip into the country, and, you begin to see a lot of the effects that Maria had on the island. You also talk about the poverty, just the way the houses are constructed, the lack of air conditioning. I mean, it really is an eye-opening experience, and I'm glad I did it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. And it is a very beautiful place, by the way. It's like a paradise, the island. It really is. But unfortunately, has been riddled with political corruption for years. And it takes its toll, man, no doubt. And Rabbi, yeah, we don't go on vacation a lot because we spend money on guns. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, the rum is cheap. Although a lot of people will say, "Oh, what kind of rum are you drinking?" And I was drinking a lot of Don Quixote. So that's the better rum, just so you know. Yeah. So Keith was there in the Navy, probably on the base. Where were you at, Keith? On the main island or Vieques? That's the one where I went. Yeah. The Bacardi Rum Factory, I took pictures of it. We never went there, but Don Q makes better rum, just so you know. That's also made there as well, not in the Bacardi Rum Factory. Any thoughts on how a semi-auto ban would go down by the feds? How would it go down? Well, I mean, it's like anything else. They got to propose it in the House, and then it has to go to it would go into committee. The committee would then have to decide what they want to push, and then it would go to a vote on the floor to push it up to the Senate. Then it would go to the Senate committee. They would either rework the bill. I mean, why am I giving a lesson to you guys? You guys probably know this. Rework the bill, go to the Senate committee, have them rework it. If there's any changes, goes back down to the House committee, and then it can basically die on the table. And it may never make. They may never make a vote for it. So who knows? Who knows? I guarantee you something will happen that's going to piss a lot of people off. One way or the other. It's going to piss us off or it's going to piss them off. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you a couple of more minutes. Let's see. Executive action. I think that would be. I don't know if that would happen, Pistol Pete, because that would be a huge nightmare for his reelection. Although, I mean, let's be honest, Trump has a lot of people by the balls because what are the alternatives? Oh wait, there are none. So that could be a possibility. Gotcha, Keith. Channel Cat Chase is saying gun bans will not change anything. You're absolutely right until they want to address the real problems. But in order to do that, they would have to, like I said, they'd have to go and find out what are the common denominators of all these shooters. What went wrong, and how can they, either identify it earlier or try to create some sort of program or magical elixir that's going to fix people's brains. I don't know. Ty J, yeah, I agree, with that statement. I mean, they treat us like criminals. And I don't know why that is. I'm not a criminal. I've never broken a damn law in my life. Okay, maybe a couple. But, at the same time, it's like, why are we criminals? What have I done to hurt anybody? And I haven't done anything. And again, if I'm ever in that situation, I want to be able to have the ability to defend myself. And that's more important to me than any argument they're going to make. Arm's been saying, we'll see what he says tomorrow, but here we go. The fight never ends. You're right. It never does. It never does. Well, see, Kim, unfortunately, with the last administration, executive orders were used probably more often than any kind of legislative action by Congress. I mean, let's be honest. Congress is as useless as, I don't even know what to say. But Congress is fairly useless, guys. I mean, yeah, we could vote third party, but who's the third party candidate? Who are we going to get? Who are we going to get? You got to have a viable candidate. I'll run. You guys want to support me? I'll run for office. That'd be awesome. I'd love to do it. Keith is saying we still haven't got a Republican Senate. Yeah, but they want to be revoted. They want to be voted in again. That's kind of what I was looking for. The issue with this is the fact that if it, I don't agree with that either. There's a lot of circuit courts that are Democratic courts. They were appointed by the Obama administration, and they do not have to abide by what we feel. All right. Yeah, I got one vote. So, guys, put me on the ballot. I get a feeling I would be shot by at least the first month. Yeah. This is the best one right here. I got to have 10,000 subs to run for office. Another roadblock to my successful YouTube career. I don't know if I'd want to pick you, Rabbi. I'll be honest with you. Who's my running mate? I don't know. Yeah, this is probably true. I don't see much changing in New York because they just passed 2 more stupid laws here. So I don't know if there's going to be any more changes. Although, again, we don't, and I don't want to sound like a jerk, but we don't have mass shootings in New York. Knock on wood. We don't have them here often. What is the reasoning? I don't know. I have no idea. I won't say it's gun laws, but I don't know. Right. Keep in mind, see, Kim, for the Supreme Court to rule on constitutional issues, it has to go through the actual circuit courts first. And then if the circuit courts go and make a decision nobody's happy with, they can petition to go to the Supreme Court. But there is no guarantee the Supreme Court has to listen to the case. Let's see. Daniel, you need to be I am monetized, damn it. Am I? God, I hope so. That's the only way I make money doing this thing. I'm going to check right now. Yeah, I'm still monetized. At least my Puerto Rico videos are. Whew. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the future lies. I think we're going to be at another crossroads for gun rights. I do think we do have to open up the dialogue of, and I don't want to, I hate to say it, but race relations, man. I mean, the way they have been picked apart over the years has just been unbelievable. I grew up in a time where, yeah, there was some racism, man, and and that subsided. Like by the time I was in college, it was you didn't really experience it anymore. At least I didn't. And then when my kids were born, there really wasn't that worry anymore. And now all of a sudden it's huge. Let's see. All right, so $1.99. So Rabbi Jesus gave me $1.99 for our campaign. Let's see. Um, it says here, did you see, is a TGC channel cat got hammered by Patreon? I'm not subbed to them, but I don't know what happened. So tell me what happened in the comments. Nick saying, are Puerto Ricans considered natural born citizens? Yes, we are citizens. I was born here in New York, so I mean, I'm a citizen, but my parents are citizens, and they were born in PR. So mental health being taken seriously would help. I agree. Mental health checks mandatory for all Americans if we treat a mental health serious and undiagnosed mental health problems, allowing for all problems. Yeah, and again, though, that's kind of a slippery slope because then we also have to have somebody judge what's mentally unstable, and again, is it somebody who's suffering from PTSD who can be treated? Is it somebody who has really deep underlying psychological problems? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you make that work, and I think that's the danger of making that a part of it. They were threatened by Patreon. What does that mean? Threatened by Patreon. What did they knock on their door and say, you will stop making gun videos or we will? I mean, what happened? I don't know. I'll have to watch the video, I guess. Oh, for links to firearms. Yeah, that's the other thing too. And a lot of the people who were getting demonetized on YouTube, one of the things that I had said, and if you guys look back at the live chats, I said, guys, get rid of your links because in the writing under YouTube's guidelines, they specifically state you cannot use second party links. So again, I don't know if that's a part of it or not. Floridian, did I grow up in New York or Florida? I grew up in New York. I'm a native New Yorker. Hi, music lover. How are you? All right, guys. So I'm going to be calling it in 2 minutes. So 10 to 10 is where we're going to shut this off. I got to work tomorrow, and I want to watch a movie. So, channel cat chaser saying gun channels are not welcome on that platform for long. Probably not. And you're going to see more movement. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. So, and like I said, what is the future? And I think there's a bigger question here. Honestly, guys, I don't even want to necessarily talk about what's the future of gun tubing. I'm more concerned about what's the future of our country. Like where are we headed here? Why do we have such piss poor leadership? Those are the better questions that have to be asked. Rabbi saying surprisingly solid chat. What does that mean? That's kind of a dig, man. I'm doing fine, music. All right, guys. So we're gonna call it a day or a night. So I appreciate it. I mean, we had I think 55 people here at some point, so that was pretty cool, man. And I only gave you like 5 minutes notice. So I really appreciate it, guys. Nick saying he grew up in Baltimore. I'm sorry. But anyway, like I said, guys, I think the conversation has to be had in regards to where are we headed as a nation. It can't be just about our YouTube gun community. It has to be a bigger question because right now things are getting crazy. There's no reason to be going to stores and having to worry about being shot by some lunatic. So until our wonderful esteemed politicians in this country want to start addressing the mental health issues, want to start addressing the divisions that have been created by the Democrats, the Republicans, and the media, we are going to keep on walking down this horrible, treacherous path. And you know what? It has to change, and we have to change it. And it doesn't mean you take up arms and burn everything down. It means we have to have an actual conversation, an intellectual one, where people actually give a damn about what's in the best interest of all of us as people, and more importantly, the strength of the nation. All right, guys, appreciate you all stopping by. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next one. Have a great night, everyone.